It was summer on Sodor. The flowers were in bloom, and the birds sang sweetly. Thomas thought the island was most beautiful at this time of the year. We need to take on water, Thomas. Let's stop up here. Thank throttles, I was getting rather thirsty. Thomas was happy to be filling up with water. Suddenly, he heard a whooshing sound coming from behind. Fizzling fireboxes! What was that? Thomas wasn't the only one who was surprised. Bubbling boilers!
Bust my buffers!
Watch my paintwork!
BlueTrax! Who was that?
Look out, you! Watch out, old man! Slow down, Speedy! Rail Raider! Later, the engines were having an indignation meeting. Someone has been whooshing about on our railway. I only caught a glimpse of Silver. He's quite a fast engine.
He made me come off the rails.
I think I know who it is. Spencer! I knew it. Hello, Sodor. What do you know? I'm here for the summer. What for? The Duke and Duchess of Boxford are having a new summer house built. It has to be finished in time for their holiday. So I'm very busy. No time to chat. Oh dear, having Spencer on Sodor for one day is bad. But for the whole summer, that will be terrible. Spencer steamed back and forth from the docks to the new summer house, pulling flatbeds of supplies. He made sure to make his presence known to the other engines. A little more puff and you might make it to the top by tea time.
Fosspot!
Toby had to stop at the junction. I can hardly believe the Fat Controller hasn't put you in a museum yet, Toby. He hasn't, because I'm really useful. Don't be silly, Toby. We both know you're way past that. Toby was so cross. Well, I never. Next, Spencer caught up with Gordon. Out of the way, slowpoke! How are you passing me? Goods trains don't go that fast. They do with me! Oh, the indignity. Edward and James were taking a special flatbed. Spencer whooshed alongside. Dear oh dear, it really takes two old engines to move one truck, does it? I can do better than that. This is precious cargo. Oh, ignorant scum. James! Friends, we should really try to talk about something besides Spencer. We can't, Toby. He said you belong in a museum after all. Yes, but I get that a lot, Thomas. Spencer thinks he owns the main line. He's dangerous and a disgrace. What does Spencer know anyway? He's been living on a velvet turntable his whole life. Indeed, he's just a silly private engine. His manners do leave a lot to be desired. It's going to be a long summer.
Well, I guess I'm off to Knapford Sheds now. Thanks for saving me a spot, everyone.
The next day, the engines were at Brendam Docks. Spencer was also there, being coupled to flatbeds of building materials. Dearie me, Thomas. It's just as well the Duke and Duchess don't have a tiny engine like you. The summer house would never be finished. Thomas was cross. Spencer had no reason to come at him like this.
Just ignore him, Thomas.
Oh, really? Why shouldn't the Duke and Duchess have a tiny engine like me? Because, Thomas, you just can't pull heavy loads. Thomas felt very insulted. So did the other engines. This time, Spencer had gone too far. Yes, I can. I could pull loads just as heavy as you. Even heavier. Thomas is not a toy. He's a really useful engine. And he's very strong. Spencer thought this was a good opportunity. Very well, Thomas. I have an idea. You and I will have a contest of strength. Edward will arrange heavy trains for us, and we'll see who can pull their load for the longest. You're on!" And Spencer steamed out of the docks. Thomas immediately regretted his decision. Bust my buffers! What was I thinking? I can't beat Spencer in a contest. As much as I hate to admit it, that was a silly decision, little Thomas.
You're one of the smartest engines I know, Thomas. If there's a way to beat Spencer, I know you'll find it.
All right, Percy. I'll try. I will meet Spencer at dawn, and I will win. The next morning, Thomas and the other engines waited for Spencer. They could hear the whizzing of a Silver Express engine as he rolled into the yard. "I can't do this, Percy."
Thomas, you always say little engines can do big things, so you can do it.
The tracks were cleared for Spencer and Thomas. Then both engines were coupled to their heavy loads. The contest will begin here and end at Marin Junction. Use the goods train lines only. Ready, set, and the two engines set off. I can do it. I'll puff for longer. I'll show Spencer I really am stronger. I'll show Thomas who's strong and who's weak. He'll puff home with a squeak and a creak. Good luck, Thomas! Thomas and Spencer sped across the island. They raced through woods, and they hopped up hills. Spencer seemed far ahead. Silly little engine, when will he learn? Little engines can do big things, and I want to win. Thomas was puffing up a steep hill. It was very hard work. At last, he reached the top. Hooray! I did it! Then there was trouble. Something snapped. Cinders and ashes. I've broken my brakes! Thomas's wheels whirred as he raced down the hill. Oh no! Oh! Help! Thomas rattled through the junction. Whoa! Blustering boilers! He clipped a wagon filled with jelly barrels and raced on into a fruit wagon. The conductor tried to apply the brakes, but Thomas raced on. He found himself going onto an old rickety track. Fenders and funnels, how can I stop? At last, the guard was able to take control of the train. With a scrunch and a crunch, Thomas crashed into the bushes and came to a stop. Flaming fireboxes! That was scary. The woods were dark and quiet. Thomas wasn't sure what to do. Spencer's probably boasting to the others now about winning the contest. Where am I anyway? I guess I'll go back the way we came. Thomas was about to leave when... Hello? Who's there? Thomas looked around. He couldn't see anyone. Hello? The voice seems to be coming from the bushes. Very slowly, Thomas puffed forward into the bushes. Thomas gasped. His eyes popped wide. There on the other side of the bushes was a very old engine. Thomas was too shocked to speak. Then the engine smiled at him. It was a little frightened smile, but it made the old engine look kind and gentle, and it made Thomas feel less scared. Hello. Too bad your brakes failed. Doesn't that always happen when you're on a hill? The engine smiled again. How do you know that? I could hear you rushing in from the main line. I do not think you were just exploring. My name is Thomas. What is yours? My name is Hiro. What are you doing here? How long have you been stuck in the woods? That's a very long story. Do you like stories, Thomas? Yes, the little engines in the hills tell me stories all the time. Then, I hope you will like mine. I came here a long time ago from another island. I was one of the first steam engines to arrive on Sodor. Where is your island? My island is a long way away. There are mountains and snow and sea. There are lots of railways. I was the strongest engine at home. I was called Master of the Railway. How did you get to Sodor? I came in a very big ship. The journey lasted many days and we sailed many seas. When I arrived at the docks, it didn't look at all like home. It was very quiet. There weren't many engines on Sodor. But soon, they called me Master of the Railway here too. I was very happy. What happened? I started to break down. The workmen didn't have parts for me. So, I was put in a siding. I had to wait for parts from my island. I waited and waited. And now, I'm sure the parts will never come. Do you miss your home? Yes, I do. Even more, I miss being master of the railway. I have an idea. I'll go and fetch Sir Topham Hatt. He's the controller of our railway. He will know how to help you. No! Please don't do that. You must not tell Sir Topham Hatt. Why not? I'm an old engine that cannot be repaired. I know what happens to old engines who cannot be really useful. They're scrapped and sent to the smelter's yard. Don't be silly. The Fat Controller would never do that. But Thomas could see that Hiro was old, alone, and scared. All right, Hiro. I'll look after you. I won't tell the Fat Controller until you are fixed. You're safe with me. I'll find the parts to fix you. Then you'll be a really useful engine once more. I will make you master of the railway again. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for looking after me. But that sounds like it will be very difficult. I can do it, Hiro. Thanks for the lift, Edward. Later, Thomas was taken to the Sodor Steamworks to be mended. Thomas liked the steamworks. It was bustling with workmen. Sparks flew as metal parts were reforged by heavy hammers and machinery. And there was Victor. Victor is a small engine who helps around the steamworks. Thomas, tell me, my friend, what were you doing in the middle of nowhere with such a heavy train? I made a bet with Spencer several years ago. I didn't expect him to remember, but I couldn't back down, Victor. That would make me look silly. You look silly now, Thomas. You lost and you broke down. Next time Spencer tells you to do something silly, please do me a favor. Say no. All right then, Victor. Thomas had almost forgotten about the contest with Spencer. He was much more excited about his discovery. So there you are, Thomas. Broken down, I see. I suppose this contest was just too much for a small tank engine to handle. Well done, Spencer. You beat me fair and square. What did you say? I said, well done. You beat me in the contest. We're finally even now, I take it. Do you have a job to do, Spencer? Or are you just going to stand here chit-chatting? You're taking up a lot of space. Spencer was shocked. No one speaks to me like that. Then he slid smugly away. All his steam is going to his funnel now. Okay, my friend, you're all fixed. Please stay away from Mr. Silverstein. The Fat Controller needs you on your branch line. Yes, Victor, of course. Kevin, how many times do I have to tell you, you don't drop things, you lower things. Slowly, slowly, gently, gently.
Yes, boss. Sorry, boss. I was trying, boss. Just a slip of my hook.
Well, that's interesting. Thomas puffed away to look for engine parts for Hiro. We can try the smelter's yard for a start. They have plenty of old parts. I don't like the smelter's yard. It's a scary place. All the old coaches and wagons go there and... Whoa! A scrap train rolled right in front of Thomas. A steam engine? Bust my buffers! I've seen old engine parts at the scrapyards before, but never an entire engine. Maybe Hiro was right about the Fat Controller. I can't say anything until Hiro is good as new. And Thomas puffed away. Thomas had to catch up on his work. He puffed as fast as he could.
Oh, slow down, Thomas. Tell me all about the contest.
Sorry, Percy, I can't stop. I'm very busy. I'll tell you all about it later.
All right.
Later that afternoon, Thomas puffed back to the steamworks. He saw a flatbed full of engine parts. Those look like they might fit Hiro. Victor, what are you doing with all these parts? That flatbed it's just taking up space. We're cleaning out the yard, and I found a lot of parts that don't fit any of our engines. Shall I take it away for you? No, thank you, Thomas. I can manage it tomorrow. Please leave it. Okay. Could I borrow this empty wagon? Certainly, Thomas. Now, I'm sure you're very busy. An old cylinder teetered on the edge of the flatbed of parts. Thomas nudged the wagon. Oops. Gotcha.
Would you like a helping hook?
No. Thank you, Kevin. Thomas was coupled to the wagon, and he raced off to Hiro's hiding place. Thomas was almost to Hiro. Suddenly, he could hear the roaring sound of a big engine behind him. It's Spencer! I don't want him to see me. He'll want to know what I'm doing. Thomas slipped down an old siding. Trees hid Thomas from the main line. Spencer rolled past. Bust my buffers. That was close. Hiro, I found a cylinder at the steamworks today. Driver says it might fit you. We can see, Thomas. Thomas's driver looked for Hiro's builder plates. Found it. This will help us know what parts will fit Hiro. I'll come back tomorrow and we can try it on. I have to go back to Tidmouth now before the others worry about me. Thank you, Thomas. Thomas raced back to the sheds as fast as he could. Cinders and ashes! The Duke and Duchess' new summer house is on this line, and it's very close to Hiro's hiding place. If Spencer finds out about Hiro, he's sure to tell everyone, and then Hiro is sure to be scrapped. I must be very, very careful. That night, Thomas told the other engines all about his contest with Spencer. He could hardly keep quiet about Hiro, but then Sir Topham had arrived. Tomorrow will be a busy day for all of you. The summer passenger trains will start an hour early. So, Thomas, don't puff around the island pulling unsanctioned loads or any other silly ideas. I need really useful engines, not really broken ones. Yes, sir.
Was there something else you were going to say, Thomas?
No, nothing. Sir Topham Hatt had spoken. No broken engines. The next day, Thomas was working on his branch line, but he wasn't happy. He needed to help Hiro, but he couldn't tell anyone, or so he thought.
What's wrong, Thomas? You don't look happy.
Percy, I need your help with something.
Oh, with what, Thomas?
I found a very old steam engine. His name is Hiro.
Bust my buffers! Where is he?
I'll tell you later. I must look after him. Will you help me?
Of course I will, Thomas. What can I do?
Please take this train of machinery to Farmer McCall for me.
You want me to do your work as well as my own? What a ploy. How do I know this engine is even out there?
I'll show you, Percy, I promise. Now I must go help him as fast as I can.
All right, we have a deal.
Percy puffed a long way. The mail cars and the machinery were very heavy.
Bother! I can't pull Thomas's train and mine. It's too heavy. But I really want to see this lost engine. I can park my mail cars, but they must be somewhere safe until I get back.
Then Percy saw a siding.
Oh, this is the perfect place to leave my cars. No one will find them here.
Thomas puffed happily to Hiro's hideout as fast as he could. On the way, he passed the summer house. Spencer was there. What are you doing here, Thomas? You're a long way from your branch line. I'm on my way to High Farm. I hope you're not too sore about yesterday. We had a rivalry, Spencer. You're good at speed and strength, but there are things that only tank engines can do. Like what? Run on time, for one thing. Thomas hurried away from Spencer and the summer house as fast as he could puff. Something strange is going on. Very strange indeed. Thomas waited until much later to visit Hiro. I thought you weren't coming, Thomas. I told you, Hiro, I'm not going to let you down. We're here to get your cylinder fitted. Thomas's driver and fireman got out their toolkits and inspected the cylinder. Seems to be just the right part. I have never seen parts like yours, Hiro. Odd that we'd find a perfect match lying around at the steamworks. So we can put it on. We need a hoist to make this work, Thomas. Fireman and I can't just lug it off ourselves. Engine parts are very heavy. I am too broken to be mended out here. But I cannot be seen by Sir Topham Hatt, so I cannot go to the steamworks either. My time has long been up, Thomas. Nonsense, Hiro. We can build a temporary hoist in this yard. We used to have one near the sheds while the works was being renovated. Don't worry, I'll come back with all the materials we need. And Thomas raced back to his branch line. He was late. On the way, he had to pass by the summer house. Thomas, you're up to something, aren't you? None of your business, Spencer. Thomas puffed away. Spencer followed him. Thomas was almost back to the junction. Then he saw Percy. Percy, what are you doing here?
I popped a valve while I was pulling the heavy farm machinery.
Sorry, Percy. I didn't think it would be too heavy for you.
I was pulling two trains at once.
Dear oh dear, Percy. Time to retire, perhaps? Thomas and Percy were cross. This is my fault, Percy. I'll help you to the steamworks. Victor will have you fixed in no time. Thomas buffered up to Percy and took him to the steamworks. On the way, they chattered about Hiro. Victor was surprised to see Thomas. Flaming fireboxes! What's happened now, my friend? Percy was taking my train for me, but his valve popped. Why didn't you pull it yourself? Because
Because he... Oh!
Kevin! Slowly, slowly, gently, gently.
Sorry, boss. Just a slip of the...
Hook. I know. Anyway, Thomas, you were saying? Thomas wanted to tell Victor about Hiro. He needed help to build a repair site, but he was too scared. I had to help Spencer with something. It was very important. For the Duke and Duchess. I shouldn't have overloaded Percy. I'm sorry.
It's all right, Thomas. I volunteered to help.
Well, that sounds unusual, but it's good to see friends helping each other. Okay, Percy, let's get you on the hoist. Then Thomas saw the batch of engine parts again. His driver inspected them. They matched the build number. Strange. What a find. Thomas, what are you doing? Just looking at these old engine parts. I am keeping them for a friend. Do not touch. A friend? It was late by the time Thomas delivered the machinery. When he returned to the shed, Sir Topham Hatt was waiting. Thomas, I heard Percy was doing your work instead of delivering the mail, and now Percy's mail cars are missing. All those undelivered parcels are the railway's responsibility. I'm sorry, sir. Percy was helping me catch up on my jobs. Tomorrow I will help find the mail cars. That's exactly what you'll do tomorrow. By my order. And Sir Topham Hatt left. Thomas, is everything all right? Yes, everything is fine. One by one, the engines went to sleep. Only Thomas and Emily were left awake.
Why don't you tell me what's going on, Thomas? It's too easy to tell when something is bothering you.
I'm just busy with work on my branch line and at the junction. It's getting to be too much. Emily, would you help me?
Sure thing, Thomas. Are you sure that's it?
Yes, for now.
You can trust me.
Thank you, Emily. Good night. The next morning, Thomas was at the water tower. Cheer up, Thomas. We all get gruffed by the Fat Controller from time to time. It's not him I'm worried about. Is something going on, Thomas? You can tell me. Remember our alliance. I need to build a hoist. What for? I found an old engine during my contest with Spencer. I want to help him be really useful again, but he needs a lot of repairs. We have a steamworks just for that sort of thing, Thomas. Just take him there. I can't, Gordon. The Fat Controller mustn't know. Why not? Because he might scrap my friend. Don't be silly, Thomas. The Fat Controller would never... I saw a real steam engine being scrapped on Sodor, Gordon. I don't know if I can trust the Fat Controller right now. Please, try to understand. Gordon began a long silence. I see. There is something we can do. The old repair yard supplies are still in the back of the yard next to Tidmouth, if I recall correctly. That will be perfect, Gordon. Will you help me take the supplies to Hiro's hideout? You're the only one I can trust. Certainly. You can count on me, Thomas. Thomas worked very hard on his branch line and at the junction. Spencer hummed slowly past, spying on Thomas. He didn't see Gordon puffing by on the upper track. Peep, peep, little Thomas. Peep, peep, Gordon. Gordon raced through the countryside. I'm the greatest! Just watch me fly by. Oh, these tracks better not give way. Who's there? You must be Hiro. I'm Gordon, a friend of Thomas. Gordon, the big express engine. I remember seeing your poster a long time ago. I've heard you made quite the name for yourself, here and abroad. Yes, a lot has changed with time. Indeed. With some proper care, though, we can bring back the master of the railway. So you want me to drop off workmen at an abandoned junction every morning on my way to the quarry, even though it's definitely not on my way? Think of it as a small detour, Toby. Don't worry. Driver has it all worked out. You mustn't tell Spencer. All right, if you say so, Thomas. Thanks, Toby. Goodbye. When Thomas's jobs were finished, he puffed along to check on Percy. Thomas met Gordon at the junction. The parts for the hoist have been delivered. Driver says we still need some welding equipment. There might be some at the steamworks. Check there. Now I must hurry. The express mustn't be late. Well done, Gordon. Thank you, Thomas. Thomas arrived at the steamworks. How's it going, Percy?
I'm alright, but my valve still isn't repaired. It's going to take longer than I thought.
I feel bad, Percy. Sorry. Then Sir Topham had arrived. Thomas and Percy, the mail cars are still missing. You must find them immediately. Yes, sir.
That's all you, friend.
Thank you for coming to cheer Percy up, Thomas. I'm sure you've been busy today. Yes, I have. I suppose I'll have to return to my branch line. But now I must find the mail cars, too. How can I be in two places at the same time? Then there was a whistle. Hello, Thomas. That's it. What's up? Stanley, you're just the engine I need. You need me? Whatever for? How would you like to help run my branch line for a few days? I'd be glad to, Thomas. I rather enjoy working on your line. But may I ask why you need me? I'm working on a surprise, a big one. It's very important to keep it secret, but I have to make sure work doesn't fall behind. You'd be very useful by taking some of my passenger trains. Oh, and you mustn't tell the Fat Controller. Of course I'll help Thomas, but I don't understand. Why not tell the Fat Controller? Is the big surprise for him? Yes. Now, do you promise to keep quiet? I promise. Goodbye. Now, how do I get those parts? We still need the welding equipment first. I don't see any here. There might be some at the scrap yards. Thomas puffed wearily to the smelting zone. I hate this place. Where is the welding equipment? There it is. Hurry, let's grab it. Then Thomas heard something. Diesels! Oh no, let's hide. One of the diesels rolled past with a steam engine in tow. Help me! Help! The coast is clear. Go, go, Thomas! But that engine is calling for help. They aren't our engines. There's nothing we can do. Run! I can't believe engines are being scrapped on this railway. They don't belong to our line. They're from the other railway. Diesels are taking over on the mainland. Some of them get sent to our smelter. This is so terrible. We can't let that happen to Hiro. At last, the hoist for Hiro was complete. See, Hiro? Now we can do all the repairs you'll need. Gordon and I will keep bringing parts for you. Forgive me, Thomas. This is much more work than I expected. But look at my new funnel. Gordon brought it for me. When Gordon smiles, it changes his whole face. It is most interesting. Gordon has been helpful. Soon you'll get to meet my other friends too, like Percy. Thomas, do you think it is wise to tell the other engines about me? What do you mean? I am just afraid. It can be hard to keep secrets if everyone knows it. I'll be careful, Hiro. No one else will know. Thank you, Thomas. Until tomorrow. Thomas puffed home. He had no luck finding the missing mail cars. The Fat Controller will be very upset with me, but I'm sure he'll understand when he sees I fixed a whole engine by myself. Thomas raced past the summer house. He didn't see Spencer in the siding, hiding in the shadows. I'm going to find out what that tricky tank engine is doing. It's time for Steely Spencer to hunt for clues. The next morning, Percy was finally repaired.
Wake up, Thomas! We must find the mail cars! I can't sleep knowing they're missing, and neither should you!
But Percy couldn't remember where he left the train. Are you sure you can't remember where you left them, Percy?
I'm sure, Thomas. The Fat Controller is sure to be closer still.
Percy, do you think the Fat Controller would scrap one of us?
No, Thomas. Not if we're really useful. That's why I have to find this train.
Emily was shunting trucks for Thomas at the junction. Spencer was there watching. Emily took no notice. Why is Thomas puffing around the summer house?
Thomas is a busy engine. He's just all over the island.
Why are you doing Thomas's jobs for him?
I'm just helping here today. As I said, Thomas is a busy engine.
Where is he busy?
I don't know. I wish he would tell me. You're a big, strong engine, Spencer. Why don't you go and look for yourself?
Spencer really didn't like this. That evening, Thomas returned to see Hiro. Look at me now! You're a colorful patchwork of parts, Hiro. You look wonderful. Haha, thank you. But I'm worried for you. The silver engine was sniffing around here last night. Stay away for a little while. The workmen have been taking good care of me. All right, Hiro. Maybe you're right. We've made good progress. We'll show that Spencer what winning a contest looks like. Ha 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 ha. And for the first time, Thomas heard Hiro laugh. Loud, long, and happy. Ah, Toby. What brings you all the way out here? Just seeing the sights with my tourists. Thomas has been up and down this line a lot lately. I don't suppose you know what he's up to. I'm afraid not, being the museum piece that I am. Huh, you Sodor engines are so cranky. Man, I'm getting too old for this. The next day, Thomas and Percy went to the quarry.
I know I didn't leave my mail cars here.
We're not here for the mail cars. Thomas and Percy, welcome to the Sodor Slate Quarry. Would you like the grand tour? It's much bigger than Farquhar Quarry. Thanks, Mavis, but we'll pass. Cinders and Ashes, it's Spencer. What an unusual place to see you, Thomas. Spencer, what an honor. Let me take you around the quarry.
Phew. Well, that solved itself.
There they are. Mavis proudly took Spencer under the slate hopper. Spencer puffed too quickly, then too slowly. Then he rolled back too far. Oh! Thomas and Percy stopped to take on coal. Emily chuffed by. Hello, Emily! But Emily didn't answer. What's wrong with her? Just then, Edward and Henry puffed by with Spencer between them. Peep, peep! Galloping sausage coming through! Please excuse Henry, everyone. Slate dust had blocked Spencer's funnel, and he needed to go to the HOTR steamworks. Cinders and ashes! We'll be safe while Spencer's at the works. Percy, keep looking for the mail cars. I have to do something important.
Are you visiting Hiro without me?
Hello, Hiro. I brought some ballast to reinforce the tracks. That way the rails don't sink when we get you puffing again. Good thinking, Thomas. You look worried, Hiro. Are you all right? Thomas, I must be really useful before the Fat Controller sees me. You will be, Hiro. Don't worry. Hello, James. Stanley, why are you pulling Thomas's coaches? I'm just helping out on the branch line today. Thomas is working on something important. More important than his job? Oh. Spencer, looking miserable doesn't get the job done any faster. Tomorrow you will be fixed. Come on, give me a smile, just to show me you can. Thomas rolled into the steamworks. There's the wagon with the parts. We need to sneak it past Victor. Yes, but how? Then Thomas saw Kevin. He made a plan. Hello, Kevin.
Hi, Thomas. Need a helping hook?
Actually, I do. Could you take this crate to the other side of the steamworks?
I've got you, Thomas.
Kevin! Ugh. Now's a chance. Oh. Oh. And Thomas slipped away with the flatbed of parts for Hiro. Hiro, what do you think about when you're alone? My home. Since I have been talking to you and Gordon about it, I miss it more than ever. Thomas knew it must be hard for Hiro to be away from his home. Tomorrow, we will assemble the final part to get you running. You won't have to be alone anymore. Thank you, Thomas. You understand me well. That evening, the Fat Controller was waiting for Thomas at the sheds. He was cross. Thomas, the mail cars are still missing! Spencer is at the HOTR steamworks. The building materials for the summer house are stacked up at the docks, and you're not working on your branch line. What is going on? I'm sorry, sir. I was searching everywhere for the mail cars. Tomorrow I promise everything will be put right. I'll even help with the summer house supplies. Don't take on more than you can handle, Thomas. Stanley has already had to pick up your slack. I have plenty of work for him as it is. Find the mail cars and return to your line. We're running out of time. Don't worry, Thomas. Driver says the work is going well. Tomorrow the last part will be fitted. Then we can take Hiro to the steamworks to show the Fat Controller. I'll keep an eye on the line as I take the express tomorrow. Thank you, Gordon. United we stand, together we fall. Dawn broke across the island of HOTR. Spencer was back on the tracks. Today I will find out what tricky Thomas is up to. Spencer searched high and low for something suspicious. He slinked through sidings, and he puffed closer and closer to Hiro's hiding place. Thomas was puffing back with Hiro's final part. Suddenly, he heard Spencer whistle long and strong. What's this I've found? Oh no, I mustn't let Spencer find Hiro. Rattle my rods. I found Percy's mail cars. These must be part of Tricky Thomas's tricks. Thomas rattled after Spencer, whistling loudly. There you are, Thomas. Would you happen to be after these? Ha 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 ha! Look out, Spencer! Oh no, please, not again! Spencer was cut off by James, shunted by Thomas. Well, looky here. It seems we found our thief. Those are Percy's mail cars, aren't they? Spencer, why did you take Percy's mail cars? You have caused confusion and delay. But I didn't take them. I'm not interested in your excuses, Spencer. Find Percy and return the mail cars at once. Checkmate. I won't let Thomas get away with this. Thomas returned to Hiro's hideout with the last part. Here are the parts to your safety valve, Hiro. Now you'll be able to regulate steam. We must hurry. Spencer will be headed back this way soon. Get to work, men! They had just finished welding the parts into place. I wonder if the Fat Controller will have seen any pictures of me. I'm sure he must have. He'll be very proud to have you back on the railway. I'm so happy. I have waited a long time. Then there was a loud whistle. It was a whistle they both feared. It's Spencer! He's found us! Help Thomas! Spencer will make sure I am sent to the smelter's yard. No, he won't, Hiro. You're nearly fixed. You can escape on your own now. Follow me. We can't fire him up yet. The welding hasn't cooled. There's no time. Spencer will catch us and spill the secret before I have a chance to convince the Fat Controller. We have to go. They made Hiro's fire. With a pounding puff and a heaving huff, Hiro followed Thomas to steam away from Spencer. Hiro thundered down the tracks, rattling and clattering. I'm doing it! I'm doing it! Well done, Hiro! Thank you, Thomas! Then there was trouble. Spencer snaked onto the tracks behind Thomas. Found you, Thomas! Spencer! Thomas's wheels whirred like the wind. You won't get away from me this time! I have to get away! I cannot let this chance go! Hiro couldn't help himself. He had to run away from Spencer as fast as he could. Spencer was shocked. Who are you? Hiro! Thomas! That engine can't even puff properly. Hiro started to make strange noises. The men had tested his safety valve and it was blocked. Steam began to build up inside. Hiro couldn't take on more water. It was getting too hot. The pressure made parts fall off. They clanged and banged onto the tracks. No! Keep puffing, Hiro! You can do it! Thomas, help me! But the harder Hiro puffed, the worse he wobbled. Come on, Hiro! Don't stop! More parts came loose. Thomas! You can do it, Hiro! I don't think he can. Is this what you've been doing, Thomas? Making a heap of scrap for the smelter's yard? Because that's the only thing that this engine's good for. The Fat Controller will make sure of that. No, he won't. I won't let that happen. Don't be ridiculous, Thomas. I've seen the trains. Then there was a whistle. I'll race you to Croven's Gate, Slowpoke Spencer. I'll win! Spencer was cross. Oh, no, you won't, Gordon. I'll win. I'll make sure the Fat Controller knows all about your little experiment, Thomas. Phew. I'm sorry, Hiro. Let's get you hidden somewhere safe. Everything will be all right. But poor Hiro felt worse than ever. A duel, Spencer! If you win, you may tell all you wish. But if I win, you're sworn to silence. On Gresley's honor! So you're in on Thomas's tricks too. Say it! On Gresley's honor. I'll show you what being a hero is. Go! The two engines went full throttle down the main line. My cylinder is sore, but nothing will stop me when I'm pulling coaches. Gordon shouldn't be keeping up with me. I'm out of puff from the chase already. If it's him, how did he survive? Hurry, hurry, hurry! You'll never defeat me. I'm the fastest engine in the world. They loomed closer to the home station. Gordon gave it all he had. For Thomas! For Hiro! Failure is not an option! Oh, what are these doing here? Gordon edged out in front just as they steamed into the junction. I've done it! I've done it! Then there was trouble. Gordon's cylinder cracked. Ooh! Spencer! The Duke and Duchess of Boxford stepped off Gordon's train. Fumbling fenders. Duke and Duchess, I trust you had a pleasant journey. Yes, thank you, Sir Topham. It was quite speedy toward the end. Gordon here seems to have taken some damage. Gordon, what have you done to yourself? Having another contest with Spencer? This is most irresponsible. Beg pardon, sir. It was Spencer's insistence that pushed me. That's not true. I was merely exposing their... Spencer, you have let us down. I know how you are about racing. Your pernicious behavior has caused Gordon to break down. I sent you ahead to complete the summer house, but thanks to your gallivanting, it's not ready for a holiday. Sir Topham Hatt tells me you've spent all day watching Thomas and taking mail cars that aren't yours. You were supposed to return them to Percy, and you haven't. Spencer blushed. They have a very old engine, a heap of scrap, in fact. I was chasing it because, in fact, Sir Topham, you should... Spencer, stop. Gordon is no heap of scrap. It's quite clear you're not fit to work. Perhaps you should return to the mainland. Please, may I help? I could work with Spencer on the summer house. I'm sure together we could deliver the supplies in time. What about your other jobs, Thomas? I can do them both. I'll work during the evenings on the summer house. All right. Thank you, Thomas. That is most kind of you. Please keep an eye on Spencer. He's clearly not feeling well. Spencer was so cross.
My mail cars!
I'm sorry, Gordon. I hope you're not in too much pain. Don't worry about me, Thomas. Surely I showed Spencer who the fastest engine is. What do I do now? Fixing Hiro didn't work. Perhaps it's time to consider asking the Fat Controller, Thomas. We haven't many options left. Thomas went to visit Hiro. You did everything you could, Thomas. But I know now. I will be sent to the smelter's yard. No! No, you won't, Hiro. I won't let that happen to you. Don't give up. I have spent years of my life not giving up, Thomas. It gets tiring after so long. I don't think I can keep going. I can't help you or myself. Thomas puffed back to the sheds. He looked weary. Thomas, Gordon's broken down. Please tell us what's happening. I have something very important to tell you. As the stars sparkled above Tidmouth, Thomas told the engines about Hiro.
I don't understand, Thomas. Why didn't you tell us sooner? We could have helped you. But you didn't even let me see Hiro.
I know, but I was afraid. I wanted Hiro to trust me. I wanted to be strong. I wanted to prove that Spencer was wrong about me. So I tried to do everything by myself. Thomas, it isn't weak to rely on others. That's right. We're your friends, aren't we? We're here for you, just like you're here for us. Thank you, everyone. I still need to figure out what to do next. I need to keep Spencer at bay. While I'm busy at the summer house, will you all go and visit Hiro? He's very sad, and he needs company. Of course we will, Thomas.
You can count on us, Thomas.
You can count on me too.
Everything will be all right. All the engines whistled. They were a team for Hiro. With Gordon out for repairs, Emily and Henry had to take turns with the express. Percy went to visit Hiro with Thomas. Hiro, this is my friend Percy.
Hello.
Hello, Percy. You have a very special friend in Thomas. I think that is because you are special too.
Do you have close friends?
Yes, I do. At home.
Oh, that's sad.
Don't be sad. Thomas has been a good friend to me, and so has Gordon. I also met Edward today. He is very wise. Tomorrow, I think James is coming.
James isn't wise at all. He's a bossy boiler. That was so fun, Thomas. I wish you had let me meet Hiro sooner. Why didn't you trust me?
It's not that I didn't trust you, Percy. I just really wanted to be a hero. And to do that, I thought I had to do everything by myself.
But you used us anyway, Thomas. Gordon and I broke down helping you while you tried to save Hiro. And I've lost my mail cards, which caused big delays.
I know. I'm sorry, Percy. I didn't mean to take advantage of you.
It's all right, Thomas. I forgive you. But what about Hiro? Do you think he'll be scrapped?
I don't know. I'm trusting my friends. Now I must trust the Fat Controller. Over the next several days, Thomas and Spencer worked very hard on the summer house. Thomas didn't let Spencer out of his sight. I'll foil Thomas's plans yet. That engine will never see the light of day again. Meanwhile, the other engines all took turns to visit Hiro. He was never alone for long. You pushed 2 engines and an entire train home in the snow? That sounds amazing. I once had a rebuild as well, after a horrible crash. The Fat Controller has been very kind to me. I must say, Toby, you are one of the most interesting engines I have ever met. It's my bell, isn't it?
You must be Hiro.
It is nice to meet you, Emily. I hear you are a very good friend of Thomas. So much that he let you borrow his coaches.
Thomas is usually very protective of Annie and Clarabelle. Actually, the time I borrowed them, I didn't know they belonged to Thomas. He was rather upset with me.
But now you are good friends. Sometimes your best friendships come from a disagreement. To me, it is funny how life works in that way.
I guess I never thought about it like that before.
I knew there was more jelly down my smoke box. Thanks for your help, Victor. And Kevin.
All clean now, boss. I mean, James.
We must tell the Fat Controller about these suspicious jelly barrels. They are causing a lot of messes. Well, I'm off to visit Hiro. Wait, what did you say? Nothing. I meant I was going to be a hero. Hero. Where are the parts? Kevin!
Oh boy, you best be going, boss. Bye.
I told you to stop calling me boss. Oh no, I need to tell Thomas the cat's out of the bag. The mainland? Thomas, there's no way. I'll take him to Crew, where Henry was fixed. Thomas, I know you want to make this right, but you'll never keep Hiro a secret the entire journey. Just tell the Fat Controller. This isn't just about the Fat Controller, Stanley. I have to keep it hidden from Spencer. He'll never see it coming. The Duke and Duchess came to visit the summer house. It was almost complete. Spencer beamed. He told them all about it, while Thomas sneaked away to visit Hiro. Hello, Thomas, my best friend. Hello, Hiro. Thomas could see that Hiro was sad. Thomas, what is your plan? It has been wonderful getting to meet your friends, but it's only a matter of time before the Fat Controller finds out about me. Hiro, I won't let you be scrapped. Believe me, tonight I will fix everything. Thomas puffed back to the summer house to say goodbye to the Duke and Duchess. Thomas, change of plans. Victor found out the parts are gone. Oh no, he's sure to tell the Fat Controller. You need to come clean with the Fat Controller, Thomas. He's the only one who can fix this. Thank you, Thomas. Without your help, Spencer would never have stayed on schedule. It was my pleasure. I'm off to Stafford now. Why? To see the Fat Controller. Spencer was cross. You're going to tell the Fat Controller about that silly scrap engine. I'll get there first to make sure your plan doesn't work. That engine will be sent to the smelter's yard, where he belongs. We'll see about that. I'm much too small. I'll never beat Spencer. We're with you, Thomas, all the way to the end. If we put the reverser down to 1, we should make better speed on the downgrade. You're running light. Thomas and Spencer had the race of their lives. Spencer kept on Thomas's tail. Maybe I can't be faster than Spencer, but I can be smarter. He whistled loudly to the signalman, switching tracks to keep in front of Spencer. Out of the way, Thomas! You can't beat me! This way! Spencer raced past the junction and screeched to a halt. Ugh! Give it up, Thomas! You don't know anything about that heap of scrap! Why'd you have to get involved? The two engines raced over the Fenland track. Thomas huffed, and Spencer puffed. I can do it! I will do it! Then there was trouble. The tracks were weak, and Spencer was too heavy. Whoa! Cinders and ashes! I did it! Sir Topham Hatt was having dinner with the Duke and Duchess when the telephone rang. Yes? Beg pardon, sir, but Thomas wishes to speak with you on an urgent matter. Thomas was very nervous. What is it, Thomas? Thomas told Sir Topham Hatt all about Hiro. Hiro is an old and important engine, sir. I didn't want him scrapped, so I tried to fix him alone. That's why I was doing other jobs instead of working on my branch line. I should have told you the truth. There was a long silence. Did you say Hiro? You mean the master of the railway? Yes, yes. Oh, he's terribly famous. Famous? He's the master of the railway. Why would you think that I would scrap the master of the railway, Thomas? Because I was worried, sir. I saw engines being scrapped right here on Sodor. Sir Topham Hatt paused. This scrapyard has become a problem. I never meant for it to scare you, Thomas. In fact, if I had my say, we would not have such a place on the island. But I would never scrap any of my engines, Thomas. We will help Hiro at once. Bring him to the Sodor Steamworks for repairs immediately. Thank you, sir, thank you. But what about Spencer? He had an accident following me here. I told Spencer not to leave the summer house, and he did. So he will wait for his turn for help after Hiro. Thomas went to find Hiro. Hiro, I've seen the Fat Controller. He knows you're the master of the railway. You're going to be sent to the Sodor Steamworks, not the smelter's yard. Hooray for Thomas! Hooray for Hiro! The next morning, Thomas and Percy hauled Hiro to the Sodor Steamworks. Welcome, Hiro. It's a pleasure to meet you after all this time. Thank you, sir. I thank you very much. And I thank you, Thomas. Thomas did his best. Victor will ensure that you're back on the line once again. Of course, sir. Whatever you wish. I will do my very, very best.
Sorry, boss!
I'm sorry, sir. Very slippery hook. So I see. Don't worry, Hiro. You're in good hands. A few weeks later, the engines all gathered at the steamworks. Hiro puffed forward slowly. Hiro looked magnificent. You look wonderful.
As good as new.
Thank you, Thomas. I never thought this day would come. Well done, Victor. Good work, Kevin. If only our friend was able to see this happen as well. Welcome back, Master of the Railway. Thank you, sir. Now, Thomas, go and fetch that Spencer from the mud. Hello, Spencer. I've come to help you. What? You can't help me, Thomas. You aren't strong enough. You're right, Spencer, but I know someone who is. Who are you? I am Hiro. Are you the scrap engine? I was the scrap engine. Bust my boiler. Spencer, it's time to get you out of the mud. Hello, Spencer. What do you know? Hiro shunted Rocky into place. Together, they heaved Spencer out of the mud and took him to the steamworks. Once Spencer was repaired, the three engines worked on the summer house. At last, it was finished. The Duke and Duchess were pleased with their new home. Thomas, I'm sorry for interfering instead of minding my own business. And Hiro, I'm sorry for calling you a heap of scrap. You are both fine engines and worthy friends. I can't believe we saved an engine from scrap, even though I made so many bad decisions.
You did the right thing, Thomas. It's impossible to make perfect decisions. You did your best to protect Hiro. You learned to trust your friends, and you learned when to take a risk. I think that makes you a really useful engine, and a wise friend.
Thanks, Emily. That night, Thomas and Hiro were resting. What's the matter, Hiro? You have been very kind, Thomas. The best friend I could ever have. But I want to go home. I understand, Hiro. I have an idea. Before Hiro could puff Master of the Railway, Thomas was out of the yard. Thomas, it's late. What are you doing out? Hiro wants to go home, sir. He misses his friends and his island. I understand, Thomas. Perhaps some arrangements can be made. A few weeks later, the engines all gathered at Brendam Docks. A ship had come to bring Hiro home.
Here he comes, Thomas!
Right, everyone. 1, 2, 3! Everyone whistled. Then there was a loud and low whistle. It was Hiro. He stopped next to Thomas. It's time for you to go home, Hiro. It is, Thomas. I will never ever forget what you did for me. I will never forget you. Perhaps I can visit you.
Or maybe you can come back and visit us one day.
Maybe, Percy. Sodor will always be your home too, Hiro. I know, Thomas. Thank you.